Hey everyone. So today we will keep the stream short. It's like I have a little bit of headache, but let's start, right? So what we are going to do today is we will merge this branch. If you remember, yesterday we did NX So we added NX to our application. We saw the advantages which we get by using NX and we will merge this branch into our branch, which is the last branch which we had, which was related to forms. So let's see. I mean, I'll because I don't want to touch my main branch. So just in case someone takes this or someone uses this particular repository, I mean, they can start from the scratch. So they don't have to add everything and then proceed. So here I'll change my base. So the last one was add forms, and there will be some conflict. Let's see how we can resolve conflict. Hopefully there will be some, yeah, there are some conflicts. So let's see how we can resolve the conflict, and then we will do some refactor of the code. So Marco from the NGRX team, he shared some tips. He said, yeah, you can actually, rather than doing this, do this way, which is really really saves some lines of code. And also it's something which is also available in with NGRX 16, so you don't have to we don't have to actually write those code. So let's go ahead and do resolve the conflict first, right? So here there are multiple ways you can do it. I generally do it from my own Visual Studio Code. And first, we will go to the branch where we want to actually merge this one. So remember, we want to merge feature add nxcloud into add forms. So I'll just copy this branch and let's go back to the forms. Right, so we are on this branch, and I generally there are multiple ways you can do rebase, you can do merge. I generally prefer merge because it's easier. It's easier than rebase. So I'll say git merge. And here I have to actually do git merge origin because I want to make sure whatever latest code which is available in nxcloud feature and nxcloud is available should be merged into my this branch. So if you remove origin, it will try to merge whatever last code you had on your local. So just to be safe, I mean, I generally do origin slash main. For example, if I want to merge everything back from main to my branch, which happens, right? Once you like work on an enterprise level application, what will happen is, of course, your branch will be outdated after some time. So what you will do is you can actually go ahead and do git merge origin slash main master whatever branch you have. And in case you get some conflict, you resolve conflict. That's the way to do it. So let's see. I mean, as per PR, there were only few conflicts. Let's see. So here it says we already had home because we created home even at the first PR, right? So I have to select between these two. Orders is something which we created new. So what I can do is I can actually remove this and I can say, hey, after this, accept both, and then just add a comma here. So this is done. This file is done. We resolve the conflict. Here, if you notice, I mean, there are few lines of code which is new, which is some lines of code which is old. So if you notice, I mean, this code is actually the same code which is available on top here. So what we can do is we can just keep the current change. So we don't have to merge both. App.config.ts. Here, this is a little bit tricky because we added, let's see, provide animations, it's already there. Provide router, it's already there. So we can just accept the current one. We don't have to do anything else. So 3 files done so far, no issues. The last one. Here we added the orders route last time. That's the only thing which is new. So you can see it says, hey, this was already available, and then there is a new line which is coming from in this particular branch and nxcloud. So it's easy. You have to just accept both because we need both the code. and make sure that after this line, because there should be an closing and curly brackets, and let's format this document, and that's it. We just updated our branch from the nxcloud branch from where we needed all this code, and we can commit the changes. And now we can, sorry, right, sorry. Mm, So you can just write git commit and it will take the message from here. So it says merge remote tracking branch, and it says, okay, waiting for your editor to close. You can actually, if you want, I mean, you can change the message here and close this. I mean, if I just directly close it, it will take the default message which was available. So it's up to you. If you want to change it, generally I try to keep it same because I mean I'm updating my branch, right? So there should not be any new commits as part of that commit. So I just keep it as same, merge from main, merge from whatever branch we are taking the code from. So now we have our an exchanges into our form log, yeah, form branch. And what we will do is now from here, let's create a new branch. I think we have entered enough code for forms. So we will move onwards and then we'll see how we can actually handle cart and one more refactoring, which Marco messaged me about, and we can talk about that as well. So I'll show you what Marco messaged, and he also shared a link so from where I can refer. And if you, let's see. So Marco is actually part of NGRX core team. So he shared an example of shared an example from his own code base. So if you remember when we wrote NGRX action, we wrote NGRX action reducer effects as well as selectors. But interestingly, with new create feature API, we also saw the create feature API. We also get the default selectors. So there's something called extra selectors which is available, and we can just remove the selector file which we have written so far. So let's see how we can actually utilize this one. I'll just zoom in just in case it's 125%. So let's go ahead and utilize this create feature. We already have product, so probably we can utilize it for product. And it's really hot here today in Germany, so oh, I am using npm install npm. Why am I doing yarn install? I know I have no idea. But anyways, so great. So with new create feature API, so we'll take the create feature API from here. If you remember, we created it here. We'll move it to reducer. So we have one less file to create, and then I'll just move the key as well. Sorry, I'll move this feature key here. Create feature, we have to import it. So let's take it from ngrx store, ngrx store, create feature, and then let's refer to the new API. So after passing name and reducer, we can pass extra selectors. So let's see. So we have name, reducer, extra selectors, and then we can say select error. So let's see how it is done. So there are two selectors, which is select musicians, select query based on. So let's see. Let's refer to the docs. So docs and create feature. Hmm. So it says, so we create feature and then reducer, and there are multiple ways. Okay, so we can pass name reducer select product state based on my metadata. So we can select product and select selected ID. Okay, this is interesting. So creating feature with extra selector. So we can also do something like this. Select product state, because uh, product is the name of this, and this is product state, if I'm not wrong. Select call state, because there is a property here called call state. So I expect this to be like, let me just check. So we have extra selector, and then curly brackets, and here I can say select product, because select products. Okay, and select product by category. Is that no, I don't have a category. Select product count. So select product count and select error. So these are three selectors which we have. And after this, so we can say adapter.get selectors. I don't think so we need this. So let's go back to the document, or sorry, the example which uh, Marco shared. And then based on this, we can say select filtered musicians. We can create extra selectors if we need to. So we can actually pass and say, hey, this is like a filter which we can apply. Let's see. I think we also had. Hmm. So here, select musician, select query. If you want to create a new one, I think that's how it is. But should be good enough. Do we need to do anything? So this is extra selectors, memo selector, select products. Let's see. I'm just wondering what it returns. So it returns an product array. This returns the product count. Interesting. And it returns the select error. Wow. This is amazing. Wow. I mean, so much has changed actually over the years in an NGRX. So I can actually remove this and just use this one. So let's go ahead and see. So we have this one. Let's see how it is utilized inside the component. So we have our state. What's that state? So we can actually put reducer selector into the same file. Even I think, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't have to even call it as reducer or selector. Interesting. So after doing this, let's see how we are selecting the state. So musicians feature, and we can just directly import musician features. So we'll just try to import select products, like as we have done for done in the example, right? So export const product feature. We can go back to product. Yes, and let's rename this file. I'll just also call it as state rather than reducer, and we will remove, or we can actually keep this one selector file, but we can comment everything because we don't need it anymore. And let's see. So few things will fail. Of course, my application will not work anymore. We have effects selector here, so I need to remove the selector now. We have to just say, okay, I just want to export state. This is the only file we care about now. And this is okay. Let's save this file. First change which we have to make, we have to go to our route. This is where we have registered all the states. So let's go back to route and here on product, right? So provide state, product feature, and this works because it's actually the namespace. So we don't have to change here. I mean, we don't have to change anything here. Component get categories, it's okay. And what else we needed was product. And for product, we are using which one? So this is navbar, but we are using the product component. So let's go to product component.ts, and here we are dispatching this action. Now we don't have the selector, we have state, and let's see. So we also we have get select products here. It says has no exported member select products. And as per the example which we have, what we need to change here, let's see. So musician state, and here, so we have musician feature, selected filter musician, select musicians. So select musician is available, right? So this is musicians feature. Okay, so we have to say musician or whatever feature dot something. So here, rather than selecting this, we can take the product feature, and here on selector you can say dot select products. Wow, this is interesting. So you can see we are able to actually just remove the entire selectors file, and this is auto generated for us. Don't have to do anything. So this is cool. Less number of code. I mean, people keep complaining about the number of lines of code they have to write while working with NGRX, and this is really good. I mean, this is a great developer experience, I would say. So you don't have to care about some default selectors, right? So it can just create the selectors for you based on the property you have, and you can write your own if you want to. So as for example, I can just say, okay, this is filter product. So once you understand the API, it becomes like really easy. So you can say filter products by category. Let's take this example, and here we can say, hey, this is. I'll just add a comma here because that's needed, and we can pass create selector, and yeah, select products, and here let's add create selector. Interesting. So you can just like keep adding more selectors here. So more queries basically, as we learned about the NGRX store or NGRX uh, or Redux pattern. Sorry. So we learned about Redux pattern where we said, okay, selectors are basically your queries which you want to like query the data from your store, and this is how easy it is. I mean, so we can pass category, create a new selector which gets the category for you. I think we have just one extra closing if I'm not wrong. Yep. And then it's always a problem. Yeah, so this closes here. So we are okay with this. And then there should be a curly bracket, closing bracket, and this is okay. Thanks to again this bracket colorizer. I mean, otherwise it's hard to always match this pairs where it is getting closed, where it is getting opened. So, and now we have one more selector, filter by category, and you can just go ahead and use this. For example, I can pass filter by category and pass a category name here. And yeah, this is much easier than I would say before, as we used to do before. I mean, we used to create entire selector file and then write a lot of code to make it work. but now you don't have to create those. So yeah, some some lines, or you can say some files, which is reduced for you. Let's run this application, because of course without seeing it in action, never trust that things work. And let's serve this application. I mean, even though your code is getting compiled, just don't trust blindly. So workspace, execute. Yeah. And really sorry if you just see, just if you're like seeing me too hard to speak, or it's really hot here. I mean, it's dry summer here, so, and dry summers are like really worst. So even there is no air outside. I'm sure. I mean, of course, I have been in Mumbai, so I know this, how bad summer can be. But in Mumbai, like, it's humid, right? So you sweat a lot. But here it's like without much airflow, just like you have probably in Rajasthan. I have been there, and it was bad. So this summer, like, it's stings. Cool. All product, and we need to take the username password. We have to log in, and don't worry, this is not a very secure or confidential username and password. We already know the username and password. We have been using it from a long time. And username, password, login, and let's see. So I can just, okay, thank you. It, so cool. Things work again. I mean, it works as usual. So you don't have to change anything. We just, what we did is we just kicked out an entire file. Thanks again, Marco. So of course, I will tell you who Marco is. So you can go to Twitter, and Marco is with his Twitter handle, Marco ST Dev. Marco. So Marco ST Dev, this is his Twitter handle. Go ahead and follow. An amazing person, and has been a great contributor to NGRX, and he's also an Angular GD, great contributor to the community as well. So go ahead and follow him. He has been doing some amazing work. Even Signal Store, which is available in NGRX. So he has worked a lot on it. Component Store, he has been killing it, and again NGRX as well. So thanks again, Marco, for this tip. So now we have less code to worry about. Let's go ahead and do, what should we do? Cart, right? So we already have cart information. If you see, we already have this cart information. But now what we will do is we will take the cart for user ID 2, because there is only one record for this user ID 2. I think so. Or no, user ID 2 has two records. User ID 4 has one record. 5 has one record. Yeah, let's take user ID 4, for example. So let's go back to our cart, and we'll add some APIs here. So cart service, this is what we need. And earlier we just called get cart, and here we can say get cart by ID, right? And here we can pass cart ID 1, probably. Yeah, let's do based on the ID, cart ID. So we don't have to worry about how many records we're getting. So I'll pass this get cart. This is the API, if I'm not wrong. Let's see. Get all. What we have is get cart, get a single cart. So fake store API, carts and slash ID, carts and slash ID. Cool. So this is what we needed. Get cart by ID, and we'll pass get cart ID as one to start with, and we'll go to our effect, and here I'll just copy paste most of the things because they are going to be same. I just have to make sure that I register this effect. Load cart, by ID, and we pass, we don't have to pass anything here. We can pass inside the action, right? So let's go back to load cart and add one more action, which is cart by ID. So if you remember, we are using create action group now. So we can say load cart by ID, and we need an ID, which is number, by ID success and failure. So same, like we generally repeat these actions, so we can handle those. And we need load card by ID. Let's go to the effects, and here we'll change this to load card by ID. And I think it should work because we are importing select star as cart action, so there should not be any issue. And we'll change this method to take get cart by ID, and we'll say, okay, this is actually here um, action, right? So we have this action, and we can say, hey, this ID is actually action dot ID, and get change this card by ID success, and we get one card. You can also see get card by ID actually returns one card, and same here. So card by ID failure, and we update the string. And we also need to write a reducer, right? So based on this, because right now it's either it's actually a cart array, so we can change this, and we can say current cart, right? So current cart information, basically single cart, yeah, single cart. So we are not getting entire one. We will never get the multiple cart anyways, right? Just in case you are doing or writing and code for e-commerce, of course, one user can have one cart. It's not like they are going to have multiple carts. And we'll pass it as null uh, or undefined. We can do cart type undefined, right? So we can say, okay, this is undefined. So of course, null undefined is better than null. So here success, and we'll say, okay, this is state, current cart is action.cart, error is this, and we'll say by failure. So I'll update the state, current cart will set undefined, and then just set the error. So this is how my reducer looks like. We can refactor the selector. I mean, I'll just leave this to you. I mean, in case you want to refactor, I mean, based on what we did, I'll update the code. I'll upload the code later on. But try this by using createFeature, and you can just remove this extra selector which we have. And let's write another uh, selector, right? So we can say export const select or select current cart. So I'll say create selector, and here we'll say, okay, give me the product state, and from state, give me the current cart. So we have this selector as well. Now we can just dispatch an action, take the data from this current selected cart or select current cart. Let's see. So here I'll change this, and rather than calling load cart, we'll say load cart by ID, and I'll pass one. I'll just hard code this. And this should not be like this. This should be an object because we are saying ID. So this is how it should look like. And here I'll change this select cart. So we have to take another uh, selector as well, which is select current cart. And we'll see, okay, we'll say, hey, give me the current cart. And this is done. And now if you see my type has changed. So earlier it was cart and a cart of sorry, it was array of cart, and now it says it's observable of cart. Now we should be able to verify the changes. Let's go back, view cart, and we have to log in again. I'll just comment this guards so we can actually see the data without logging in. Let's go ahead and do that, which is our app routes, and we have to comment product is okay. Um, for as of now, we'll just remove it from the cart. View cart, and there's nothing. Let's see why. So lip cart works. There's nothing here. Let's see network tab. Do we have any API call here? Okay. So I know what I have missed, but just in case anyone of you think if you know like what I've done wrong, why it is not being rendered, why there is no data for cart. A simple mistake, a simple mistake which I have made. Yep, nothing to worry about. As even I actually mentioned it when I was writing. So I said here we are adding a new effect, and I should not forget about adding this effect. Actually, I forgot to register this one, and until unless I don't register this effect, nothing will be called. So we can go back and say, hey, just go ahead and add this one as well, load cart by ID. And we can add into the imports. So this is the cart one, right? So we can say, hey, here, load cart by ID, and now it should work. So we should see one cart information, and you see the API call as well, right? So we have this information now. Based on this information, you can do a lot of stuff. You can actually get you can show the user details. For example, it's a cart, right? So generally what you see in cart, product information, right? And probably few or yeah, so you can add one like make payment button. We can have add probably some cards to display the product information. And what else? We can also display the user information. For example, the shipping address, the delivery address, the name. Yeah, I think those are the information which we generally see on cart. So let's try to do that. Or what we can do is, as I said, I mean, I'll try to keep the stream really short today. I just wanted to show you how powerful createFeature API is, and I wanted to show you how to resolve the merge conflicts once you get it. And we'll wrap it up today here. Probably I'll try to do this offline, right? So we because it's a designing I have to design it because I have to display all those products. And as I said, I'm not that good into CSS. I'll just try to come up with something. And if you also get time, just try to design this cart information page as you wish. And we'll also fetch, if you remember, we also have some login information. Once we log in uh, during for profile, we are fetching some information here. So if you go to profile, you have some information available here. For example, the address, name, email, phone. Probably we can also add some store here. As soon as user is logged in, we push this information into store, and we can display or we can fetch this information. We can actually query this information by and then display everything on the cart, including the name, first name, last name, email, mobile, and then address as well. I'll just make one last change because here we are referring to user ID 2. So I'll make sure that I get the data uh, for user ID 2. So it matches, otherwise it will be a different record. So I'll just use get cards to see which card ID belongs to user ID 2. And then we'll wrap it up for the day. Okay, what happened here? Okay, I have to just remove this one. Uh, So this is ID2, user ID1, ID3, user ID2. Yeah, so we can take ID3. So I'll just go ahead and change this. And I wanted to change the branch as well. So let's do that while we are live. Here, cart component.ts. I'll just change this to P, and let's create a new branch. Feature, add. We already have cart, so I'll say add cart store or add cart UI. Right? So we don't have the UI, so we'll do that as part of this branch. And let's see git add add cart UI. And let's push this one. We have this branch available, so it contains all the changes from uh, yeah, all the changes from mm, Nextcloud PR as well. So everything is there. Cool. So yeah, let's wrap it up today. It was 36 minutes. We at least we learned something about createFeature. So if you have any question about createFeature, feel free to drop me a message, or you can also contact Marco. I've shared his Twitter email, Twitter handle, or refer to the docs. I mean, it was straightforward. It was nothing very complicated. Once you know the API, you can actually do that. So see you again tomorrow, and hope the weather is better tomorrow, so I can be more energetic. And see ya. Bye bye.